All right, you guys, welcome to Go Beyond for December the 6th. Glad you could join us. What today you're going to need your body towel, which I have laying on the floor. I'm going to get it out of the way. We don't need it just yet. And a pair of weights. You can have your chair. Just go ahead and set it to the side. We'll use it when we need it, if you need it, but most likely we're not going to need it. So I'm just going to set this over here. We're going to start with a couple of assessments today because all of the things that we're going to be working on are going to hit these two different assessments. So we're going to assess our shoulders. I know we haven't done that in a while. So what I want you to do is to take your right arm and wrap it around your ribs right here. I'm going to turn sideways. So holding your ribs in place, you don't want to arch your back when you do this. You want to keep your back in neutral. You just want to roll that shoulder up. See if you can get it to come up by your ear and roll it back down. Feel what's going on in here. Feel what's going on here. Let's do it again. And one more time, because we have not warmed up at all. So you want to just feel what's going on. Any snap, crackling, and popping that's going on. And let's turn and go the other way. So you're going to wrap this around. So this just keeps your body from making some crazy moves. And you're just going to go up. I have that little tightness in my collarbone here, so I'm going to be watching that for me. And one more time, just a nice, smooth assessment. Yeah, I'm a little tight in my collarbone, so that's what I'm going to be watching out for. And let's do a little hip assessment. So what we're going to do is I have our feet hip width apart. You're going to lift up the knee, shift your weight to one side, but bring your knee up as high as you can, feeling what's going on in that hip joint. So you're going to just bring it up here like this, stand and shift. Let's do that too. 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. Okay. And I want us to also do breathing. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our 4, 2, 4/2. So you're going to breathe in for 4, hold for 2, and you'll exhale for 4 to 6. Okay. And the reason why we add those 2 on is sometimes you need more than that 4 count to fully deflate your lungs. That's why we say 4, and you can just not breathe for the last 2, or you can just continue breathing for that 2 more. So that's kind of that uncounted count of 2. So we're going to do that 5 times to just kind of really get the blood flowing. So in for 4. Breathe into your spine. Two more. One more. All right. I want you to shake your legs out, keeping your toes on the ground and making your heels make your body go, ah. And just get that vibration going through there. All right. Bend your knees. We're going to go into hip hinges. I'm going to start the music. And we're just going to start in our regular old hip hinge with our feet shoulder width apart. All right. So head up, chin up, good form here. Let's just kind of sit back into our hamstrings. And we're going to take a good 20 seconds to really just have our head at neutral, pushing into our hamstrings without doing any other movement. You want to just be steady. And then go ahead and make sure that your toes are relaxed. Your weight is in your heels. And you can feel the pull, feel the stretch. And while we're here, let's go ahead and do our little bit of a neck thing. Just turn to one shoulder and rotate back to the middle and the other. And let's do it again. Both sides, left and then right. And then lifting the knees. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Shake your legs out. And let's sit right back down into that hamstring stretch. Hip hinge it right into that hamstring stretch. Like I said, the music's not driving us tonight. We're just going to do what we need to. We're going to stretch that out. Body at neutral. So let's just tuck our chin. And then roll our chin up just past so you can look up towards the ceiling. And let's do it again. Tuck your chin. Feel how your spine lengthens when you do that. And then you're going to crunch your spine by lifting it up high. Go to neutral and pulse. Nice little drive there. Not intentional, but it works. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come up halfway and then go down halfway. So you want to sit further back and lower. Your knees can come forward just a little bit if they need to. You want to have your body centered over your knees. Just sit into it. Hands can do whatever they need to do. Four, 3, 2, and 1. Let it come up. All right, let's do a little torso rotation. So just keep your hips steady. Don't put your hands on your hips. Keep your hips steady so they're facing the camera, and just turn your upper body and keep going with that. I'm gonna let Teresa in here. All right, and then go the other way. So hips are square to the front, stretching to the back, square to the front, stretching to the back. Let's widen our stance and go ahead and sit back into those hips. For hip hinge, again, we're going to stretch the hamstring one last set. Head and neck at neutral. So look out at 45, keeping your head at that 45 degrees. Just track right up and look and see how far back you can look out of your peripheral vision, and come back to center. And then go to the right. How far back can you look in your peripheral vision? And center. Let's do that 2 more times. So we're stretching our hamstrings. Peripheral vision. Come to center and peripheral vision. And now we pulse. Just sit in those hip hinges and pulse. Four, 3, 2, 1, and down, and half, down, half, and up. All right, do your hula hip, your 4-point hula. Stretch, 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 and then reverse it. One more. All right, we're going to take a quick little assessment break. It's also called releasing some of the tension on the back of your leg. So tighten, bring your hips in, hip width, and just go ahead and check and step, check, step. We're going to do 6, so this is 3, 4, 5, and 6. Shake it out. We're going to do one more set of hip hinges, but this time when we're going to start from a normal position, we're going to hinge down. When we come up, we're going to add that knee lift in. And we'll do 20 of them, so we'll alternate on it. So you're going to sit into your hinge, and as you come up, you bring the knee, and you sit back down into it, and up. So as you come up, it's like you have a hold of the strap, and you just pull that knee up with you. And this will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like the deconstructed sumo. 10, 9, control. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Little quick hula. Circle your back. You're going to make sure your spine is okay. Another way. Grab a drink if you need to. Bend your legs. If you want to make sure that you loosen up your hamstrings. They're stretched out. So you want to bend so that that muscle shortens a little bit. So when you bend, don't just bend here, bend here. So you have that. Also, it tells your quads to pay attention. Grab your body towel. So weights in the body towel, Teresa. There you go. Let's do some curtsy lunge. So we're going to go into the the hip flexors. And we're going to start with the towel just coming up front. Because we've got to warm up our shoulders as we go along. So in your open space. Here. Remember, you don't want to go big until you get that hip warmed up. Same thing with the shoulders. Arms go shoulder high. Good. And I'm actually doing a little pull in for me. So I do an extension, so I pull it in, bring it up, pull it in, push it out. So I get that little, I'm starting to stretch and push my shoulders back, extend out and down. Oops, because I can't keep. There we go. Good. We want to keep it easy. By easy, I mean we're not going super intensive because we're going a long time. Let's do 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, push out, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, set this guy to the side. Let's roll our shoulders. And we're going to do a quick little assessment. We're going to do one arm lift on either side. So right arm here. And just roll this guy up. See how your arm feels. Can you go past your ear without arching your back? I've got a good one there. Let's go to the other side. Collarbone's feeling a little better. All right. Going to go back into our curtsy lunges. We're going to do big open. So what I want you to focus on is squeezing back through here, turning your hands different directions as you're going out. So you don't always just high hands. You can do push hands. You can do splayed hands. Maybe splay your toes while you're doing it. Okay, so you can turn your hands different directions. And let's go ahead and do, well, we'll start with 10 and we'll see where we're going from there. So just a gentle curtsy lunge with big arms. Ready? 1, 2, and then just, you know what, pull it in here. 3, so you're getting the in and out of the shoulders. 4, 5, so we're working on flexibility right here. 6, 7, nice. 8, 9, and 10. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Shrug and roll those shoulders. And then forward. And then go ahead and stand up nice and straight. Let's just turn the chin to the left as far as we'll go. Hold it there. Look up. Look down. Come back to center. Turn to the right as far as you can go. Look up. Look down. And come back to center. So we're working on our peripheral vision and our acuity while we do that. Gives you something to do while your neck's in that holding position. Let's do a quick assessment on our shoulders. Ready? How are we feeling right here? Is it getting looser? Does it hurt? Let's switch. Is it feeling more crunchy, less crunchy? Whatever, if something was bothering you, has that changed? So keep your mind on that. Now, we're going to go cross body. So let me figure out what I meant by that. Okay. So when you step with your left foot, both hands are going to go to the left, like you're sweeping something away. We'll do 10. Ready? 10. 9. So you don't bend into it with your upper body. 8. Just the arms. 7. 6. Use that turn and rotation and stretch. 5. Push this other hand way back there. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Let's go ahead and do 4 more. Ready? 4. 3. Feel what your toes are doing. 2. Are you planking and pushing off? And 1. All right. So we don't have a whole lot of shoulder stuff, but go ahead and bend to the knees when you're bending. Bend here so that your knees are front, your foot flex back. 1 more set of curtsy lunges. I'll turn my fan on. Okay. This set of curtsy lunges, we're going to go and touch the floor. Remember, when you're bending down is when you exhale. You breathe it back up. The floor is the target. So when you step with your left, you're going to take your left hand towards your right foot. So you'll step here, and you can touch anywhere around this foot and come back up. Keep your neck at neutral. So don't tuck your chin in, and don't try to crane to look up. Neutral. Let's start with 10. Ready? 1, 2, and that back arm up for balance. 3, and counter stretch. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's go ahead and do our 4 more because we're doing 14 for some reason. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. How are we feeling? Thumbs up if you're doing okay. Shoulders, are you feeling some difference in that? Okay. So let's go to arms. Pick up your weights. Now, remember when we did our pendulum move? That's what we're going to be working on. So you're bringing it up to shake your hand position or pass it back position. So you should not be going any greater. So if this is 90, 45, 45. So just standing in an open stance, means your feet are apart. You're simply going to, I'm going to stand sideways so you can see what we're doing. You're going to do 1 and then the other. So it's that pendulum. So we're going to start with 20. 1, 2, it's very deliberate move, smooth. 3, hold it. 4, that 1 second hold. 5, 6, 7. When you hit that 45-degree apex, 8, your core is trying to really engage there. 9, 10, and it's doing 2 things. 10 is trying to keep you from rotating. 9, it's helping you hold your weights up. 8, don't get any higher, I'm sorry, going higher. 7, 6, 5, don't let your body turn. 4, 3, 2, and 1, and just come to the center. And I want you to bend your elbows. Okay? When you're doing those extensions like that, if you ever had tendonitis, tennis elbow, those full extensions like that, that's what we have to bend afterwards. So we're going to do the pendulums again. We're going to go to a closed stance with our feet and do like we're taking a step, and then we'll return. So it's going to look something like this. So if you step with your left foot, your right arm's coming out. So your pendulum, return, and then just reverse it. So step, step. You're always going to step forward. You're going to go forward, step home, go forward, step home. Because if we try to add the step back in there, your arms are going to get confused. I know, because mine just did. So you're always going to step forward and then return home. Ready? So you'll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost into a little bit of a front lunge. 6. That back heel is planted on the ground. 7, and your arms are equidistant out. 8, 9, 10. You can actually use that as a nice calf stretch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And of course, bend those elbows. Take the weights off. Shake and move that wrist. All right, we're going to do one more set of the pendulum. We're going to add the bends to it. So when you do the forward one, you're going to curl up into your bicep curl. And when you do the backwards one, so you're going to go back and pull that elbow in. So you're going to bicep curl and kick back, tuck. So the elbow goes up and you're going to tuck your hand up towards your armpit. So curl and tuck. So with both hands, let's practice doing it in tandem. So you're going to curl and tuck. Curl and elbows back and tuck. So you want the elbows to come up and still at that 45. There you go. Curl and tuck. All right. So now let's do it with arms in opposition. So one arm is going to come up in the bicep curl and the other one's going to curl back like this. And then you'll go down. It's going to take your brain a minute to figure out what you're doing. So shoulders are actually becoming more prominent in here. Good. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you do it in really slow motion, then you're doing like the $6 Million Man. All right, let's try to put the weights down. And I want you to shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. So take a nice deep breath. So we're going to do 4 count, breathe up with the shoulders toward the ears. Hold it for 2 and exhale down. Ready? Again, 4, 2, 4, 2. And press down as far as you can go on that last one. Let's do one more. All right. Let's do a quick assessment here as well. All right. Wrap that right arm and just rotate this arm up here. Let's see where we are on your flexibility. Oh, I've got a nice reach back for me. I hope that works for you guys, but bring it down nice and slow. Same thing here on the left side. I wonder if my collarbone's feeling any better. Yep. Not as crunchy as I was earlier. bothers me a little bit, but that's just because I did something weird here. Okay. Hopefully you're feeling and seeing some differentiation in there. We're going to go back to the hip hinges because I know that's so exciting, but we're going to add the towel this time. So get your towel out. All right, put that on the ground in front of you. You're going to take your feet to hip width. Let me start this. So you can see my towel. See my towel. You're going to put your toes up on your towel. Feet are hip width. Now that your toes are up a little bit, and if you're barefooted, you can kind of wiggle your feet around. We're going to sit back into our hips, into our hip hinge. And you'll notice that the pull on your hamstrings is a little different. It's a little sharper because you got your feet lifted a bit. So we're going to hang out here like we did earlier. Make sure your body's at neutral. If your head and your neck are at neutral, and I want you to go ahead and turn, just turn that head to the side. And then come back to center. And then to the side. So let's work on that acuity. And do it 2 more times, one each side. Left. Then right. Come back to center. And let's pulse. Here's where you can be very mindful of your knees. If your knees bother you, you just kind of adjust where your hips are. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's come on up. All right, we're going to widen our stance. So you're at hip width, so take it to just outside hip width. Different place on your towel, so you shouldn't be quite to the end of your towel just yet. Sit back into your hips. And make sure you adjust your knees out a little bit. If they're in like this, you adjust them out just a smidge. Find those hammies. That means you got to tilt your rear end a little bit. All right, bring your chin out to 45 degrees away from neutral. And then turn your head. Track your eyes up to look at the peripheral behind you. Come back to center. Turn to the right. Track your eyes to look up behind you. And center. Track your eyes up. And center. And up. And center. And now we pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and roll it up. Go ahead and pick your knee up and your foot is still in the towel. We're going to do our hip check while we're in this imbalanced position. So you want to pull this up and down. So your balance is really, okay, that's okay. We're also stretching our leg at the same time, so. 2 more. All right, go ahead and take it to the edge of the towel. How are we feeling there? Use your toes to do some gripping. Make sure your heels and your toes are even so your heels are not out and they're not tucked in. When we sit into the hip hinge, make sure your knees are staying with your legs and not tucking in like this because this is going to bother you. You want that natural position. So go ahead and take a nice breath. Now let's just sit back into the hips. Find those hammies. Go down as low as you can, low as you need to, sitting in neutral position, not going to do anything with the head right now. Just hold it right where it needs to be. Hopefully you found your hamstrings and you're just getting a nice little stretch. And we're going to do a little 20 count pulse here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's bring it up. All right, just step off the towel and just fold your knees up. Remember, you want to do the fold with the knees in front and the foot's in back. Take some pressure off those hamstrings. All right, we're going to do the heels. So adjust your towel. If you've been standing on it and it got flat on that one side, you need to fix that. Okay, hinge, hip width position. Put your heel on that highest point. Now remember, your center of gravity has slipped forward, so when you go hip hinge and you start taking your head and chest forward, you have to compensate by taking your butt back further. So it's a different set, different mindset. Let's go ahead and sit into that. It may take you a little bit. You may not even find your hamstrings on this one. It might be starting to feel that lovely little stretch in your lumbar. So tuck your belly button into your thighs. Hold it here. And go ahead and take your hands out to the side. And I simply want you to turn using your peripheral vision. You're turning your head just a little bit. Can you see your thumb? Come back to center. Can you see your thumb? So you're not looking at it directly. You're just using your peripheral vision. Can you see your hands? And bring it back to center. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Counting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and go ahead and roll it up. How many of you, when you sat into it, you really didn't feel your hamstrings at all because of the way your body is forward? Once you started doing the pulse, you probably felt them then because you were pushing. So yeah, perfect, good position. Let's take it to that second position, which is just slightly wider than hips, but not at the end of the towel. Remember, you have to adjust your knees a little bit. And let's bend down. Tuck that belly into the top of the thighs. Head and neck at neutral. Hold this position. Take your left arm and bring it up Superman style right here, where your hand is just out of sight. And bring it back in. Take your right hand right here. You should be able to like lift your eyebrows and see, but not lift your head. And bring it back in. From this position, we are going to let one hand go down and touch the floor, and then back up. We'll do 20 of those, starting with your left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your hips a little bit. Push into your lumbar. Roll, curl yourself up right there. You want to get that little stretch as you're coming up. Go ahead and step off. Do your knee bend. You want to squint your knees up. Give your hamstrings a little break. Give your quads a little break. How's everybody doing? Show thumbs. Doing good? All right. One more set of hip hinges, and then we go to something else, I promise. Okay, get those heels on that outer edge. So this is a wider stance than we normally do. Go ahead and sit back into your heels, into your hips. Now, you're probably loose enough that you could take your elbows to your knees. So let's go ahead and do that. Tuck your belly right there into the top of your thighs. Head and neck at neutral. From the hips, you're just going to pulse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From this position, take your left hand. Can you put it on the floor? Can you put it flat? I can go almost flat and then flex it out and then bring it back to my knee. Let's take the right hand down. Whatever level you're at here, and pick it up. And you're going to drop your hips. Press your back up into the lumbar very carefully. Of course, at any time, if I give you an instruction and you're like, your back says, ooh, you modify right out of that little position, because coming out of that, being low could be aggravating, so just be mindful of that. All right, we're not getting rid of the towel. I am going to move it forward again, though. We're going to do a couple of sets of curtsy lunges with our feet starting on the towel. So bring them to hip width. We're simply going to do curtsy lunges from an unsteady position. So be mindful of your ankles, be mindful of your knees, use your hands in whatever manner you need to. We'll start by stepping to the left. Because your foot's not gripping the ground, you have to be very careful. When you step back, make sure you're stepping into those toes, stretching that heel. 4, 5, 6, 7, you can travel the towel a little bit if you need to. 8, so you're not always putting it in the same place. 9, 10, 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Use this time to stretch your arms. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. I want us to try something. No guarantees on how it's going to work, but let's do our curtsy lunges with our heels in the raised position. It's a little different. Your gravity's a little different. So let's just try 4 and see where we're going with it. 10. It's actually a little more stable. 9. Who knew? 8. 7. 6. I said 4, didn't I? Glide. 5. 4. This is the last bit. 3. 2. And 1. All right, go ahead and get your towel up and out of the way. Ooh, perfect timing. Okay, so let's do our hip assessment. So you're standing with your feet just hip distance apart, and you're going to do 6. You're going to be paying attention to how it feels now versus how it was earlier. Is it a smoother glide, easier movement, more or less crunchy? You might be a little tired, so your balance needs to be wobbly, but don't take that into consideration. You're working with this part right here, right? We'll do alternating 6. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, hold that thought. Let's do our shoulders. All right, start by wrapping that right arm around. Remember, when you bring your arm up, do not arch your back. You want your back in neutral position. You're wanting to see in that roll and your arm with your thumb leading how far it can go in the upright and just past your ear if it can. If not, remember, your shoulder assessment for you is yours, not mine. So don't compare to me. If I have a bad shoulder day, what are you going to do? All right, hold the ribs steady and up and back. We're going to do 3. So you want to take it nice and slow, up and down, rolling through the whole thing. 2 and 3. So my left arm, which is my right arm, is actually doing very well. Let's go this way. 1, 2, and 3. So I want you to be thinking about, was it worse, the same, or better? Let's do our breathing. We're going to do 5, 4, 2, 4, 2. So when you fill up, try to fill from here to here, here to here, here to here. Wherever you might have a little sore spot, pull the air in and push it in that direction in that 4 count breathe in. Ready? Two more. One more big one. All All right, you guys, thank you for joining me. We'll do our after chat after the video's off.